What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Rogue Dad Podcast. I'm your host, George. Today, as you can see, we are coming from the studio, the art, homeschool, uh, music, pottery wheel podcast studio. Um, I want to talk about Charlie Kirk. I've been wanting to do this podcast for a couple days. This situation has gotten me, man, it messed me up for a little while. I'm still pretty saddened by it. I mean, I didn't know the guy, nothing like that. Never would. I'm not in the same circles, like not even anything like that. Uh, but when I started this podcast, I started it because I wanted to highlight and get down a video audio journal for my daughter. I wanted her to know what was important to me during her life, my life, while she was young. And she can go back and listen to these episodes and learn what her dad thought, man. I would love to have something like that about my parents. As much as we never didn't get along or anything, I would love to know what they thought about certain things and, you know, and get some backstory to some of the stuff that has happened. And Charlie Kirk being assassinated, I think, is one of those things that is definitely worth talking about. And I felt compelled to say something. I've been sharing stuff on my Instagram stories, and uh it just didn't feel, it felt stupid, man. I'm not gonna lie. It felt dumb just sending these clips when I had all these feelings and things I wanted to say and just get off my chest. And also, she doesn't have Instagram. She's not gonna know how I felt about the situation with me posting stories. And to be honest, what does that even do, man? We call it social media, but it's not even social anymore, man. It should be called divisive media. It seems like nobody wants to use it for good. Well, that's not true. I do get recipes and farming stuff and cool things, but I also get people kicked in the head and hitting the balls with a fucking hammer. So just stupid videos. And I felt like this situation had more gravity to it than just doing a post here and there. I really wanted to get down what I felt. And to be honest, I didn't know what I felt. This happened on the 10th. Today is the 15th. And I really wanted to try to, I guess, calm down, in a little bit of little manner of speaking, calm down and just collect my thoughts. This is something that affected me way more than I thought it would. One, because I didn't agree with Charlie Kirk on a lot of things. He's super religious. So I like his views on abortion, marriage, and, gays and all of that. I didn't really agree there. I think people should be able to do what the fuck they want. I'm the last. I'm so not a prude. I If it's funny, like if you make fun of me and it's funny, I'm gonna laugh, dude. You got me. All right. If you're right, I'm saying something and you can say, "Hey, this is what's going on. You're wrong," and I say, "Oh, okay, I hear you. I didn't know that." Uh, I can do that. Have I always been able to do that? No, but I can do that now. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't agree with everything he said, but the fact that he was willing to go out and talk to people in a day and age where most kids don't even go outside. You know what I mean? He had to go to college campuses to talk to these kids. And he was the only person, what I don't get, he was the only person going to schools and talking to the kids on a regular basis. This was the first of a 14 city tour, I believe, at Utah, where he got assassinated. And he was the last one even willing to talk to the other side. I keep seeing these videos of where they take a Democrat to Trump rallies and everyone's like, "Oh, hey, what's up? Come on over here. Come on over here." But if you take a Trump person to a Democrat rally, they fucking get shit on. I see it in my life. I see it in my life. Uh, and the funny thing that blows me away is I grew up Democrat. I grew up I'm an ex-con. I didn't like Republicans growing up. They were fucking squares, fucking religious, crazy squares. I never thought in a million years I would align more with the Republican side than the Democrat side. If you would have told me that in the 90s or the early 2000s, I would have been like, you're fucking crazy, dude. Those fucking Jesus freaks. But then being a Democrat got so fucking crazy. All this transgender, changing kids' sex before they even know what sexual identity is. You're just telling them, no, 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 you're a girl. Like, dude, there's so much shit with this woke shit that is so crazy to me that it's insane. It really strikes me as insane. And I don't want to turn this episode into what I think is crazy about Democrats right now. To be fucking honest, that list is so long. It's crazy. But Charlie was the only person giving these kids a mic, giving them a microphone and saying, go ahead, tell me what you think. There isn't even Democrats doing that. There isn't Bernie and AOC are about the only ones that are willing to go around and talk, and they're not even doing colleges. They're doing huge arenas. They're doing fucking convention centers. They're not doing 3,000, 4,000 student union crowds. Charlie's going to the quad. He was going to where these kids were. AOC and Bernie are saying, hey, come to where I'm at. Come get a ticket to where I'm at. Charlie Kirk was the only one giving these kids that most people won't even fucking talk to, dude. It's usually when I see these kids hanging out, man, they're so alienated. I'm in Richmond. It's gay as fuck out here, dude. Richmond, you go into a bathroom, they're all transgender bathrooms. And I have an 8-year-old girl, dude. You think I'm going to let her go into a bathroom where a dude can go in there? You're out of your fucking mind. You're out of your fucking mind, dude. So there's some places in Richmond, she doesn't even go in. If she has to go to the bathroom, we don't go in there, man. Because that's how it is out here. And I'm just not cool with that, man. Be who you are. If you're a fucking dude that identifies as a chick, but you still got a dick, you're just go to the fucking dude's bathroom, dude. I don't care what you got going on up here in your head. You still got a fucking dick. You still got the plumbing for the boys' bathroom. Go in the fucking boys' bathroom. If you ain't got the plumbing anymore, sure, then you can go in the girls' bathroom. But if you still got the fucking pipe and the plumbing and the whole system, go into the fucking dude's bathroom. Who gives a fuck if you're dressed like a chick? Go in there and fucking stand at the urinal. No one's gonna say shit if you're standing there at the urinal. Oh, look at this dude wearing a dress. Big fucking deal. Move on. But if you got a dick and you're trying to go in the chick's bathroom, that's wrong, man. Especially if my fucking 8-year-old daughter's in the fucking bathroom there. But Charlie was the last and only person. He was a Republican giving the Democratic youth a chance to say, hey, tell me what you think. There's nobody else doing that on either side. I haven't seen it. Everyone just tries to fucking belittle everybody. Everybody tries to make a mockery or do it in like a sarcastic with like a weird undertone kind of way. Everything's like a slight. You know, all these videos of people going asking questions, it's all like with this undertone of look how stupid this fucking person is. Everyone's trying to prove everybody wrong. And I get that was Charlie's fucking thing, prove me wrong. But he did it in a way where if you came up and you had facts, he would listen to you. I heard him listen to all kinds of kids. And that's the thing that's driving me the craziest of all of this. Like, it's not that people disagree with him. It's not that people thought he was a Nazi. It's not that people thought he was wrong. I get it. I totally, totally get it, dude. I really do. No joke. If you told me someone fucking punched Charlie Kirk in the mouth, I'd probably say, fuck, okay, I could see that. If you told me somebody slapped him, I'd be like, all right, I could see that. You told me fucking someone spray painted his car, sure, I could see that. But assassinating somebody for talking is literally the most un-American thing you can fucking do. Assassinating somebody because they had a different opinion than yours is so fucking weak. It's so fucking weak. You can't even handle a conversation. That's where that's where your side lies right now. That you can't even handle somebody just talking? Just talking and asking you questions and saying, hey, come prove me wrong in this forum, this public debate situation. And you couldn't fucking handle that to the point you had to take this father of 2 daughters and a husband, you had to take his life because you can't agree with it? How fucking weak are you? How weak is your side that you're celebrating that? If you are celebrating that, you are a fucking weak individual, man. I have no respect for anybody who's making light of this situation. Well, another reason why I really wanted to do a podcast on this topic and get my thoughts out there, because I had people in my feed that were posting things like, oh, well, you had this coming, or people want to support Charlie Kirk, don't want to support this, you know. And people bring up school shootings and all that. But the fact is, school shootings have become normal in this country. Shooting somebody for just talking is not. A Charlie Kirk doesn't come around every day, every generation. School shootings, unfortunately, they had one right after Charlie Kirk's assassination. I think it happened like a half hour after that. And was it Minnesota? I can't remember, but I think 2 kids died, and people are like, well, why aren't you talking about this? You know why? Because fucking school shootings have just become normal in this fucking country, dude. That's why, man. Charlie Kirks are not normal. Someone willing to talk to the other side is not normal in this country. That's what set, in my mind, Charlie Kirk aside, was that he was willing to talk to the other side. He encouraged it. Come tell me what you think, and maybe you can prove me wrong. That's the whole thing. He's inviting people to prove him wrong, to where I feel most people nowadays, especially in, like, man, I'm not a Republican. I go to places where it's mostly Democrat. It's mostly, I do stand-up comedy. I go to bars. I go to the gym and these places where it's pretty liberal people. It's not church. I'm not going to fucking some Skull and Bones meetings. I'm not going to some fucking country club meeting. I'm a fucking broke fucking thug, man. Like, I'm an institutionalized ex fucking convict. I'm not fucking Republican. But I find myself more and more uncomfortable with what I recognize as being Democrat nowadays, the older I get. I find myself uncomfortable with people who not only do not prove me wrong, but I'm not even going to listen to what you have to say that might prove me wrong. I don't want to hear your side of it if it has anything to do contrary to what I believe. You can't even, most kids nowadays, most young people, and by that I mean like 19 to fucking 30, man. If you have a different opinion than them, they won't even hear you out. At least fucking Charlie Kirk would hear you out. Man, I see all these videos of him where these kids are just cutting him off in these speeches, and he just lets them talk. There's nobody else doing that. Well, there was nobody else doing that. It certainly isn't anymore, man. You guys just took the fucking last one, dude. You just took the fucking last dude that was trying to bridge the gap between the 2 fucking parties in this country, the 2 groups. And unfortunately, the more and more older this country gets, the more and more divided it's becoming. This guy went around talking. That's it. Talking. He's not a politician. He's not passing laws. I'll admit he influences political parties. I'll admit that. But he's not actually the one in the fucking house. He's just saying, hey, this is what I feel. If you can do something about it, that's great. But he's not the one passing the laws. He's not the one changing the laws. He's abiding by the laws. Everything he did was law abiding. He's not doing anything against the law. He's not part of the Sackler family, poisoning fucking millions and millions of people on opiates, killing people. He's not Elon Musk, part of Doge, changing the democratic process and all these things, trying to cut things to the government. You know, he's not fucking Jeff Bezos, Amazon, fucking everybody out of 40 hours a week, like, you know, screwing people with that kind of stuff. I don't know a lot about Amazon. I just hear a bunch of bad shit, but he's not that. He's not an insurance company guy. He wasn't anybody that's doing actual harm. Fuck, man. You tell me one of those people got shot, I'd be like, dude, Elon Musk got shot. I can see that. Nobody is even making attempts on these people. This dude's just going around talking to motherfuckers and you're going to take him out? What a fucking pussy. You're a fucking pussy if you think that was good, dude. How fucking weak are you? You can't even handle someone talking and asking you a question that might be contrary to what you believe. When did we become such fucking pussies? That's what that's one of the things that kills me about this is that he invited people to prove him wrong. He wasn't out there saying, this is what I believe. Don't come talk to me. I can't. I see all these protests for all these rights, these gay rights, these trans rights, all these things. And they're so anti-listening to anybody else's point of view. It's if you don't believe with theirs, you're fucking wrong. Get the fuck out of here. We're going to fucking kill you. And if I'm going to be just completely honest and just say exactly what I feel, and why the fuck not? This is my podcast. You know, I can get the fuck off. You can turn it off anytime you want. But what I can't imagine, what I'm so surprised about hearing is everyone's talking about civil war now. But this isn't a civil war. This wasn't a race thing. This wasn't a black dude. This wasn't a Mexican dude. This wasn't somebody who did it because of race. This is this dude's boyfriend, this guy who killed Charlie Kirk, he had a transgender, it was a boy transitioning into a woman, was who this assassin was living with. So my question is, when you say civil war, who's the war between? Is it going to be transgender versus everybody else? Is it going to be the LGBTQ and fucking plus and all these other things versus that group? Who is the civil war going to be against? It's black people aren't going to fight for this. Mexicans aren't going to fight for this. It's going to be, unfortunately, what I think is going to happen. But I don't know, man. To be honest, Charlie Kirk has invoked a lot of people doing peaceful gatherings. I really thought there was going to be a bunch of gay dudes beat up. I really thought there was going to be a bunch of hate crimes going on after this. That's what I thought. I mean, I was mad to where I was so mad. This guy did not deserve to die. He did not deserve to die, man. And one of the big reasons why I wanted to get this podcast done was because I can't imagine someone celebrating this. I disagree with a lot of people in the political atmosphere. There's a lot of things I don't agree with people on. I don't think they should be shot in front of their kid, in front of their daughters and their wife. That is, fuck, man. It is so fucking horrible. So horrible. And then to top it off, he gets away. It was his parents that turned him in. Fucking Kash Patel is a fucking joke. This guy, I want to say congratulations to the Utah police. Yeah, no shit, dude. We know you're working together. I really hope that the FBI, when they come to a state where there's something going on, works with the local law enforcement. Thanks for that fucking news flash, Cash. What a fucking idiot this guy is, man. This guy had a podcast. Now he's the head of the fucking FBI. Hey, maybe I can be the head of the FBI. I had a podcast. This guy has no qualifications whatsoever, man. This guy's a fucking retard. But this guy's family turned him in. His dad, who is a high up member of a church that he was at. The thing is that these kids nowadays are so disassociated with what it's like to be human. You know, a lot of times when these kids are gay, they get shut out of a lot of things. And the only people they can gravitate towards are other gay kids or kids online. And now they're in their tiny little ecosphere. And when something happens to somebody outside of their ecosphere, it doesn't really affect them. Everything they see is a meme. All these things that he put on the bullet casings, it's all memes. And memes aren't real. When you interact with the screen and your computer and social media so much, you lose touch, you lose your connection with humans. That's why people can just say like, maybe this wasn't such a bad thing that this guy died. Just saying that is so weird to me. It's so fucked up that I'm raising a kid in this atmosphere. You know, it's easy to support violence against humans when you don't feel any connection to that group. You know, on some levels, I can understand what these kids are going through. I was the black sheep of my family. I was always an outcast. I was always on parole. I always couldn't go places. I always was hurting for money. You know, I felt alone a lot of the times. A lot of my life, I've felt alone, and I have been alone. And I can get having these feelings that other people look at as wrong and shut you out and tell you who you are is wrong. I can totally understand that. But what I can't understand is hating those people enough to where I'm going to climb up on a roof at a public school and shoot this person. I've never been that hurt. You know, I feel like when I was a little kid, like probably in, I don't know, elementary, junior high, like you would hear people talk about JFK getting shot. You would hear people would talk about Martin Luther King getting shot and what it was like when they were, and that's what this feels like. It's sad. It's totally sad that this is where we're at. I mean, we've been here a long time. Who the fuck am I kidding, man? We've been here before. We're going to be here again. There's always going to be somebody that's going to do something like this, and it's sad. But this guy did not deserve that, man. And a lot of the things that this is stoking the fire to, I don't know if it's good or bad yet. You know, my buddy Chip was saying that they're having more people come to church. You know, although I don't personally believe in all that, I'm glad people are finding their way to something peaceful, man. Say what you want about Christians, but they are some of the most nicest, most happy people I've ever met in my life. They really are, man. I worked at Saddleback for a while, and Chip is one of the nicest, just genuinely giving, caring person I've ever met in my life, man. And anybody I ever ran into at Saddleback or had interactions with were always nice, man. And it always made me feel good to go in and hug, and people happy to see me, happy to see my daughter, always remembering my name or shaking my hand and just making me feel welcome. And there's nothing wrong with that, man. They just want good for everybody. And I feel like Charlie Kirk just wanted good for everybody. This whole thing about him being a racist, I do not believe he was a racist whatsoever. I know he gave to black college funds. I know he had black people working on the staff. I know he reached out to black organizers and all this. I do not think he was. I do think that him saying you giving people special treatment is a form of racism. Me giving you a job just because you're black is a form of racism. I think me giving you special treatment because you're Mexican or Asian is a form of racism. I do agree with him there. But I can also see how some people can say, oh, you don't want to give black people more of a chance? That's racist. But is it fair to everybody else? I saw this video of Charlie Kirk where he brought up this. It was such a good point. I had never even thought about it before. But we have affirmative action. So Harvard says, hey, we're not going to, or wait, no, was it Harvard? I forget who. But Harvard was like, okay, we have to have so many of each race. But the thing was that excluded Asians because instead of going to who had the best scores and who actually deserved to get into the school, they went with, well, we're going to have this many blacks, this many Asians, this many Mexicans, this many Native Americans or Indians, this many whites, and we're going to do admissions like that. The population of Asians at Harvard went down. And somebody was asking him about that. So the NBA right now is like 86% black. And Charlie Kirk said, okay, well, what if we racially balance the NBA? Then that means that black dudes that are way better players are going to not get in the NBA because they have to meet their quota of white or Asian or Mexican players. The NBA would fucking suck if that was the case. If we didn't have the best athletes in there and we racially balanced the NBA or the NFL, nobody would watch them, dude. No one wants to see a bunch of fucking Asian dudes brick. No one wants to see a bunch of fucking short Mexican dudes miss a layup. Let's be realistic. It's 86% black because black dudes fucking rock at basketball. Come on. Who are we trying to fucking brainwash here? If we don't do it to the NBA, why are we doing it anywhere else? Why are we racially balancing anything instead of giving people these positions based on their merits? And that was one of the views Charlie Kirk had. And I agree with it, man. I wholeheartedly agree with that. And that was seen as racial. I don't think a white dude should get a job over any other race just because he's white. Just like I don't think affirmative action should give people who don't deserve a position, regardless of what race they are, the job just because of their race. Because we have to balance out because we got too many fucking white people here. Well, maybe they're the most qualified. Just like Asians at Harvard are more qualified than white, black, or anybody else. I mean, that's just true. So I just wanted to get this down, man. Rogi, I wanted you to know that this was a bad thing. This was a horrible thing. And I don't think it made things better. I think it made it worse. I think if your cause was to silence Charlie Kirk, I don't think you did that. I think you made him a martyr. I think people in other countries are doing vigils to show their support. People who have made shitty posts have gotten fired. And yeah, man, I've had a few people in my feed that have posted some things where I'm like, fuck, man. You know, to be fair, there are people I don't know that well. I don't know, man. There's other people that it was rough to see some of these things. I know there's even people that are selling shirts of him being assassinated, and then it says debate this under it. And it's just like, Jesus, Who the fuck would wear that, man? Who the fuck would wear that? I don't know, man. If you are someone who would wear that and you're listening to this, just I feel for you, man. For one, I'm surprised you're listening to this podcast, but two, I feel for you because it's a human being who got shot like that, man. That was one of the most horrible things I've seen. It was horrible. And for his family to see that, his daughters and his wife to see that, I feel for them, man. Just like I would anybody else, man. Just like I do when I see, a gay couple, one of them gets beat up. I feel for those two. I feel for two lesbians. I feel for a trans. Anytime somebody has harm brought to them just because of who they are, not because of something they did, I feel empathy for them, man. This was done because of who he was, because of what he believed, not because of something he did. He didn't do anything. He was just talking. He didn't do anything to this person. And it drives me crazy, man, because there's nothing you can do about this now. Charlie Kirk cannot come back. We can't erase this. We can't go back in time. There's no redo. There's no nothing. It's gone. He's gone forever. Charlie Kirk will never say another word. And that's sad. It's sad, man, because he didn't deserve that. And it breaks my heart that people can act like this is even a little okay. It shows me that people can just be weak-minded, that you can't even handle somebody talking, that it bothers you so much that you just can't not tune in. You can't just maybe do something else, find another thing to see, find another, oh, I don't like this movie. Okay, go watch another one. I'm not going to go shoot the director. It's just, and I know he's been at it for a long time. I know Kirk has pissed a lot of people off. I get it. There's a lot of people like that, man. They don't deserve to die. And I don't know, man. I don't know what else to say about this, to be honest. I had to say something because this was something I really felt. I felt the sadness of this situation, and I wanted Rogue to know that. So I hope everybody is safe, man. I hope that if you've been moved by this situation, I hope it's in a positive way, regardless of what side of the fence you're on, man. Whether you agreed with them or you didn't agree with them. I hope that this tragic event, like it's stuck with me, man. It's stuck with me. It's motivated me to do a little better. It's motivated me to, man, I don't know. Every time I see Charlie with his kids and his wife, I want to go in and hug Rogue or just, man. And then you had the stabbing on the train with this Irina Kuzla or something like that Ukrainian chick. They got stabbed by that black dude on the subway, and I think it was in South Carolina. Fuck, man. What the fuck? Like, that is so crazy that just happened. That girl is so sad, man. And it's 2 states over from, like, that's not that far. We're all right here. It could happen in any neighborhood, and just the stuff that's happening right now, it makes me worried for my kid, man. Like, I want to go in and hug my kid when I saw Charlie shot. It just makes me want to stay home, man. It makes me fearful, man. It makes me scared of people, which is fucking sad. Because the truth is, I really thought Charlie was, in this weird way, bringing people together, man. I really do. Whether you think he was positive or not, he was actually giving a voice to the people most people won't listen to. And that's not going to happen anymore. I think that it's probably not going to happen for a really long time, as long as people are celebrating this. So, yeah, I'm going to end it there. And I hope everybody is safe. And I love you, Rogie. All right. Thanks, guys.